Hi, this is a game I created in Unity earlier. All you need to do is to click on the arrow key to get the players moving. There we go, guys. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Unity development environment, and you'll see how this game is put together. So let's go into Unity now, guys. Hi, and welcome to Unity tutorial of how to make a video game. Okay, I'm going to start by selecting new. Let's click on new, and right there let me give my video game a name. Let's just call it maybe just iGame. Right, that's the name I'm going to call my tutorial. So make sure your 3D is selected, and then we click on create project. And there we go, guys. Now the development environment is ready. So what I intend to do is maybe I should go to layer right there and just click on default. That's the default interface. Okay, so the next thing I like to do is either I go straight into game objects here, or if you like, you can always come to create underneath the hierarchy. So let's click on create. I will now go to 3D object and then select plane. Right there, now I have my plane. If you like, you can give your plane a name. I'm going to just give my name. Let's call it ground. There, that is ground right there. And I will also increase the size of this plane. Let's go for 5 by 1 and 5. There, that's the size of my plane right there. The next thing I would like to do is maybe I should just add. Let's go back to the create and let's add capsule. And the size of my capsule, let's make that 3 by 3 by 3. There we go. Now let's move this capsule up a little bit. And one thing I'd like to do is just let's zoom in and just move it in so that you guys can see it. That is my capsule. I'm going to select this capsule and hold on to Control and press D, or you can always right click on this very capsule. Okay, and create a duplicate, but then let's give it a name. You can give it a name, so let's just call it number 1. Yeah, number 1 underscore 1. I have number 1 there. Then the next thing is, let me right click and just create a duplicate, and that very duplicate I'm going to rename that. Once I separate it, that's number 2, so rename that as capsule number 2. And let's create more of those. You can also press Ctrl D to create a duplicate, and that will be number 3. Rename it as number 3. Let's create a couple more of those capsules. I've just selected all, and I'm just going, oh, the ground is selected as well. We don't want that. So I've selected these 3 capsules. So what I will do is just right click and create 3 duplicates. You look at that. So we can always drag. You see that, guys? Let's create another 3 duplicates and just drag. Right, now let's zoom in a little bit and let's select another 3. Right click, duplicate, and let's just move that here. Okay, maybe another 3 so that we can line it over here, or we can just select these ones. Okay, right click and create a duplicate. There we go. Okay, we can even create some more and just create those duplicates of the one selected. You can press Ctrl D. Let's move it. Yeah, those are the duplicates created. Right. So I think that would do. So what I intend to do now is I'm going to now add a border around this. So let's come right in here. Okay, there's no, we have the name, so that'll do. So I'm going to go back to create. Let's go to 3D and let's add one of those. So that is going to be, let's change the size of that to, that's my cube. I'm going to change the cube to 50 by 10 and just leave it as 1. So drag that to block that very edge right there. Okay, now I'm going to press Ctrl D and just drag. That is the second one right there. Another Ctrl D, or you can zoom down here, just right click, create a duplicate of that very one, drag it, let's place it dead center. And now I'm going to just change the position of that. Let's type in 90, drag it there to block that edge, and just move the x-axis right there. Okay, maybe one more. Right click, duplicate, drag, and block this very edge of it. Alright, now that all of that is done, the next thing I would like to do is I'm going to need a player. So let's come in here, click, and let's select sphere, and we have our sphere there. Let's bring it here, you can now see it, but I'm going to change the scale of the player to 3 by 3 by 3. There we go. Now we can now see the player. So in the case of the player, I'm going to give that player a name because we're going to need more than one player. So let's rename that properly. So player _1. Now all of this, number 1, capsule, and so on, I'm going to select them all. Scroll right down, let's select it all up to here, and right here come straight into components right there. Look at it, click, and let's add physics, and let's add rigid body to each of them. There we go, they all now have rigid body. So if I select each individual and scroll right down, you can see they now have rigid body on them. That is good. But the cube has no rigid body, so that is fine. And this very player, let's add a rigid body to that very player itself. Go straight to the component, physics, rigid body, straight onto the player. Now as for this very player, let's add a script onto it. Make sure the player is selected, and let's come right down here, look at where we have add component, click, and we want to add a new script to that very player. Let's click on that, and let's give our script a name. So I'm going to call that controller there, and make sure C# is selected, not JavaScript. I want C#. Okay, now click on create and add. Once you click on create and add, that will open up your editor. In this case, my editor that I want opened is going to be C#. Let's look for my editor right there. So select that and look for the editor. That is it. Open it up. Now we are opening up the editor. Okay, now that the programming area is ready, so what I'm going to do is, for those of you who are new to games programming and who have no clue about coding, I can show you some sample code within the documentation area. So what I'll do is come in here and let me show you this is the URL. I'm going to copy that very URL and just paste it right in there. let's have a look at what we have in there. Okay, within the URL of Unity documentation area, I'm going to click on input. Look at it, that is interface into the input system. So let's click on that, and right down here you can always read all of these if you want to get a better understanding. Right underneath here, okay, just before that, make sure you select C# because I am using C#. Scroll right down and let's look for, okay, static method. Within the static method, select get access and click on the get access and scroll right down. So the very lines of code that I need is this very one right up here. Look at it right here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to copy from here. Let's copy it up to here. Okay, copy and get rid of this. I don't need that anymore. Just come right down here and paste that very line of code right in there. There we go. Okay, if you don't understand these lines of code, I will advise you to read through. Okay, all that's just going to happen is the system will just move the balls around both horizontally and vertically, and their speed already specified. So let's go back into my game right there, but before that, look at this. Right up here we have attached to Unity, so click on that. So that is attached to Unity. Okay, now let's go straight onto Unity because it's already attached to Unity. Come right here, and that is the ball. So what I'll do now is, let me just demonstrate what you guys will see. First place, let's realign it so that you can see it properly. And if I run it, let's click on that. There we go. Hold on to your key and you see the ball moving. So the whole idea is for the ball to hit those capsules. And let's come right in. Can you see that? Okay, and the whatever capsule the ball get in contact with is actually hit. So what I'll do is I'm going to copy more of these balls. So let's come right down here, press Ctrl D. That's that, and move this ball here to the middle. Create another one, Ctrl D. Right here, maybe to the far end here, so that we can see more effect of it. Ctrl D again, and maybe one here. Okay, there. Now I have all the players, actually the players in position. Right, now let's add some color. Right click on the asset area, select create, and right in here let's get a folder on board, and that folder I'm going to call it material. Now I have my folder material in place. Now you guys know how to create a folder. Now right click on the asset area again, come down to create, and let's select material. Now that material is selected, I will now come to albedo right here and change the color, and maybe let's select red for the very first one there, and let's come to normal map. Change the normal map. I just want to give that red an effect. There we go. You can see the effect there. So that is for the first material. Just gonna click, drag, drop it on this. Okay, and I can then drag this material right in there. Let's create another material. Let's have maybe one or two more that I will use for the changing of the colors. More material, and one more. Now select this very one, change the color of that. Let's go for green there, and that is fine. Make it a little bit darker, and let's come straight to the normal map as well. Drop that down, and let's select that as well. Drag it, give it to drag the green and just give it to the, oh, I think I like the background. Yeah, I'll leave that as my background. That's good. Alright, maybe we'll play around with another one and change the color of that as well, maybe to blue, dark blue, and there. Now the very blue one, let's come to normal map. Yeah, there, click on that and just drop it on this one, and the next one, repeat the same thing. Right, okay, and this very one here. Yeah, okay, so let me just speed that up now that you guys know how to change the colors around. Okay, now let's just use this color to change some of these. Yeah, let's change them around the way we want. I think I'll change this to something a bit lighter. Well, black there. And maybe let's come in here and add some red into it. Right. Okay. Now this is how it all looks. Well, let me come into this material folder and just create another one. Okay, right in there I'm just going to use another different color entirely. Let's come in here, maybe let's settle for that color, and that will be for the fence. Right there, grab this, drop it on this, and finally over there. There we go. So let's try out the game now that we have all of our color in place and so on. Click on play, and there we go. So what I'll do is right click on the game itself and let's select maximize. There we go, and just hold down the button so you can see what's happening. There we go, guys. Look at that, and look at that. Look at what's happening, guys. You see that? So let's stop it and we play it one more time. Okay, let's come in here. Let's move it in so that you can see it properly. That's from the lines of code that was copied earlier. So you guys can do the same thing even if you don't know how to put any lines of code together. Look at that. Look at what's happening. You see that? There we go. You see that, guys? Okay, this is a very nice game, for a video game for a new beginner. If you are new in writing games, this will be very good for you. So let's stop it and try it one more time. Let's see that. And right click, or you can always press shift. I'm sorry, that's meant to be shift space. With the shift space, that's what you get. And you can see all of the balls, all the players doing their own thing. Okay, and it's a very good game that you can always improve on. Okay, the other thing we can do with this game is we can always reposition the camera. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let me show you guys how we can manually reposition the camera so that you can have a better view of this game itself. So that is the camera. If you can't find it, just all you need to do is click on main camera. Just bring it up, and there I think we might be able to see it much better that way. Yeah, can you see it right here? Okay, so let's see how it's going to look like. Okay, you can always move this here. That is the game itself, so that you can see how it looks like. There we go. So let's run it and see. And just move this. Look at that. You see that? Can you see the game up here? You can see the players doing their own thing, and you can control it with your with your arrow keys. So if you want to have a bird's eye view of it, just click on maximize, and there we go. There we go, guys. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. For those of you who are not good in coding, you can always go to that documentation area and just copy those lines of codes, start learning from there. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you enjoyed, and please do subscribe. Bye for now.